You know that feeling when you check your bank account and instead of quickly closing the app in stress, you actually smile, like the moment when you stop calculating whether you can afford a coffee, or wondering if buying groceries means eating instant noodles for the rest of the week. There's a specific point where this shift happens, and interestingly, it's not what most people think. Many financial experts say you need $1 million to feel wealthy. Others say a six-figure income is the magic number. But there's actually a much smaller milestone that can completely change your relationship with money. And once you reach it, everything begins to feel different. That number is $20, zero in savings or investments. My name is Adil, and I spend a lot of time studying money, financial psychology, and why some people seem to build wealth steadily while others stay stuck in the same financial patterns for years. If you're interested in understanding the real mechanics behind wealth building, consider subscribing and leaving a like if this video helps you see money from a new perspective. Now, before we dive into why $20 zero can be such an important milestone, let me ask you something. When you think about building wealth, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture someone born into a wealthy family who never had to worry about money. Or maybe you imagine someone slowly saving and investing over many years. The truth is, wealth building doesn't usually work the way most people imagine. In reality, there are certain financial thresholds that act like invisible barriers. Once you cross them, the rules of the game begin to change. And for many people, $20 zero is one of the first major turning points. Think of it like pushing a heavy boulder uphill. At the beginning it feels incredibly difficult. You're saving small amounts, progress feels slow, and it can be discouraging. But once the boulder gains momentum, it becomes easier to keep it moving. Reaching your first $20 zero can feel very similar. Before that point, saving money often feels like constant uphill work. After that point, your money begins to contribute to the progress through investment returns and compound growth. But the most interesting part isn't just the math. The real change happens in your mindset. When someone has little or no savings, their brain naturally focuses on short-term survival. Every financial decision feels urgent, unexpected expenses create stress, and planning for long-term goals becomes difficult. But when you build a financial cushion, something important changes. You gain mental space. Instead of constantly asking, "How do I get through this month?" you start asking, "How can I grow this money over time?" Research from Vanguard has shown that even small emergency savings can significantly improve financial confidence and well-being. When that safety buffer grows to several months of expenses, which for many people can be around $20 and zero, the psychological impact becomes even stronger. You begin to feel more stable, and that stability makes long-term thinking much easier. Now let's talk about the numbers for a moment. Imagine you're saving $1 zero per month and investing it with an average annual return of around 8%. Reaching your first $20 zero might take roughly a year and a half of consistent saving. That takes discipline. But here's where it gets interesting. Your next $20 zero often comes faster because your existing savings are now generating investment returns. Your money is slowly starting to work alongside your efforts. Over time, this creates what investors call compound growth. As your investments grow larger, the returns themselves become larger too. Eventually, the growth from investments can begin to contribute significantly to your overall progress. But there's another important benefit that many people overlook. Saving your first $20 zero doesn't just build a financial cushion. It proves that you've developed one of the most important financial habits, consistent saving. Think about what it actually takes to save that amount. You probably had to track spending more carefully. You had to delay some purchases. And most importantly, you had to stay consistent over time. Those habits are often more valuable than the money itself. Because once those habits are in place, continuing to build wealth becomes much easier. Another shift happens as well. You begin to focus less on small daily expenses and more on the big financial decisions that truly shape your future. Things like housing costs, career choices, investment strategy, long-term financial goals. These decisions have a far greater impact on your financial life than small everyday purchases. And when you have savings, you're able to approach these decisions with more confidence. Savings can also change how you think about your career. When someone lives paycheck to paycheck, changing jobs or taking risks can feel very stressful. But when you have several months of expenses saved, you gain more flexibility. You can explore better opportunities, negotiate more confidently, or invest in improving your skills. In other words, savings create options, and options create opportunities. This is one of the reasons people sometimes say that money tends to attract more money. It's not because of luck or secret investment strategies. It's because financial stability allows people to recognize and take advantage of opportunities when they appear. Of course, reaching $20 doesn't make someone wealthy overnight, but it often represents a powerful turning point. It marks the moment when someone moves from simply managing money to strategically building wealth. It's the difference between constantly reacting to financial problems and starting to design your financial future intentionally. And the best part is that this milestone is achievable for far more people than they might initially believe. With consistent saving, thoughtful spending, and long-term investing, that first $20 can become the foundation for much greater financial progress. So if you're working toward that goal right now, keep going, because once that foundation is built, the journey often becomes much easier. And your future self will be grateful that you started today.